Hello and welcome to another episode of Who Knew in the Moment, the podcast. I'm your host, Phil Friedrich, and today I'm honored to have a familiar face with us, Dr. Sasha Shillcutt, and we had her on probably about 2.5, 3 years ago now, so
Yeah,
it's fun
yeah.
to get to do this again. For those of you that are not familiar with her, we could spend the whole day just reading her accolades, but I mean, she is entrepreneur at heart. She has multiple businesses that she started. She's a doctor, she's a professor, she's an author, she has a podcast that she runs. If you're looking to find out anything about those items, it's Brave Enough. That's a great spot where you can find her. And then we are today going to be talking about one of her newest business ventures, and that is a new business here in Omaha called Legacy Collective. And we'll be talking a bit about what that is. But Sasha, good to see you.
It's good to see you, Phil. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So once again, you've got all these things going on. So probably the last thing you needed was another thing. But talk a little bit about this, new idea for the business and where it came from.
Well, I'm really excited to chat with you about it because it's something that I've been thinking about probably for at least 5 years. I do a lot of traveling. I know you do as well, and
Yeah.
speaking. And I meet so many amazing people and I meet women all over the country. And I sometimes when I'm traveled, I've found these women's clubs, like these social clubs that are beautiful spaces for women or even maybe co-working spaces for women. And I thought, this is really interesting. Why don't we have something like this in Omaha? Because Omaha has phenomenal business people and
Yes.
entrepreneurs and so many other women that I know in corporate working in medicine or law or marketing or tech. So it was just kind of a dream and a thought in my brain for probably 5 years ago. And then about 2 years ago, I realized that the older I get, the more I really value connection and
Mm,
connecting with people.
yeah.
I just turned 50 this year, so I have two of my kids have left. They're in college, and I have two at home, but one's getting ready to leave. And I'm facing a different kind of time in my life. And so I think when you get older, you really start to value who you connect with and those moments to connect. And every time I go to connect with someone in Omaha, I'm trying to find a space to do that, and it's
Yeah.
either a loud coffee shop
Yeah.
or it's like maybe there's 3 or 4 of us that wanna get together and talk about something, and we've gotta try to find a restaurant that we can, like, sit there for several hours or, and then I realized at the same time, my husband loves to golf, and so he
Yeah.
belongs to a golf course, and that's his kind of escape, like, he's like, "I'm gonna go hit balls," or "I'm gonna go golf," or "I'm gonna hit
Yeah.
balls, and then I'm gonna have a drink at the club," and I love that for him, like, I love that he has that, but I started to recognize that we don't have things like that for women in our
Yeah.
society, like, men have social clubs and cigar bars and gun ranges and golf clubs, but we don't really have a space like that, unless the closest thing we probably have as women is like a spa, but
Yeah.
you're not really connecting with people when you go to the spa. There's nowhere to, like, sit and have a cup of coffee with somebody. So,
Yeah.
I really started doing market research about 2 years ago, and that's where I got the idea.
Amazing. And, I think to your point on, nails done, spot on, whatever it is, it's like sometimes people just like to do that as a relaxing, like
Yeah.
me item, not
Yes,
necessarily
yes.
a collaborative, friend
Right.
time item. And so,
Yes.
yeah, it's great to have a location. Now, as you've, kind of visited and been at other locations across the country that are a similar design, are you thinking any like reciprocity type of a thing? Like, hey, if you're in partnership with me in Omaha, maybe if you're traveling to, Minneapolis, there's an ability to, use a day pass at a reduced rate or anything like that for people that
Yeah.
are travelers.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I don't have that aspect completely nailed down yet. I will say that the Legacy Collective, which is gonna be in Regency Landing, a great area of town, which is very
Yeah.
convenient and easily located for people, um, it is a different club than what I have found across the country in that I'm looking at it as not just a workspace. Like
Mm,
yes, we have great co-working spaces in Omaha already, and I want women to know that they can work there. Definitely work there's gonna be work going on there, but I didn't want work in the title because I also think that women are very tired at times,
yeah,
and we just need a safe place to escape. So you can come and work, but the purpose of the club is gonna be threefold. You're gonna have a place
yeah,
to rest. So we're gonna have a
yeah,
quiet lounge, which is like that spa feel where there's no talking, but you can sit there with your computer or your a book, or you can take a
yeah,
nap. I don't care what you do, but you
yeah,
have service, like someone's waiting on you and checking on you
yeah.
and seeing if you need a beverage. But I wanted it to be about rest, about growing, and that's the programming aspect that I'm so
Mm,
excited. And then connecting, like really
yeah.
connecting with people and not just networking and getting business deals done, which I know will happen. And I'm excited about that aspect for people that are in business in Omaha. But really the connection piece is a part of this and is going to be the foundation of our club.
I love it. Now, talking through, kind of those all focus on the last 2 points. So number 1 or point number 2, but my first one. So, you think about, yes, if somebody is in the business space, how many great opportunities have come from the connections and relationships that we have. And it sounds like this is going to be an organic way to meet people that are like-minded, right? Hey, I appreciate the fact that I have a spot as the lady to go and, enjoy time. And from there, who knows what can matriculate. So, are there going to be like special events that you host
Mhm.
to, strategically put people in rooms together opposed to, hey, I show up and I'm there from, 10 to 1 every day, but I leave to, go do this activity in the afternoon. And I never even got to meet X, Y, and Z person.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be one of our core values is connecting women to other women through
Yeah.
programming and
Mm,
through really great programming. I mean, it's not just gonna be women talking to women. We want men to come in the club. Men are welcome in the club. We're gonna focus on women as members, and our programming is gonna be focused. But, I think about all the amazing things that I have learned from so many business leaders, so many leaders in general, whether it's in medicine or law, and many of those things I've learned are from men. And so
mm,
I think one of the questions we keep getting asked is, well, can I bring like my male clients in? Can I bring male colleagues in? Can I bring
yeah.
my husband in and my partner in? Absolutely. There's going to be guest passes that you can bring in. But
Amazing.
we're also going to have programming that is centered and specific for topics related to women.
Amazing. Now, as you think about the, connection part of it, and I think this is maybe one of the reasons that you said, hey, it's not necessarily a work location, right? Because, hey, maybe I'm a retired professional and I want to be a part of it. Or maybe my job is stay at home,
Yeah.
spouse or mother. And well, that doesn't require me to go to a place to work, right?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
get that done at home, but I appreciate having a place to go from my home, right? So talk a little bit about, just having those different groups of individuals that are going to be, in the club. And then I think maybe the second part, you talked about strategically organizing it. Are there any specific topics that you feel like today's, modern woman, maybe you wish you would have known 20 years ago, that you've been learning over the last 20 years. That's like, hey, if I could imprint this knowledge on someone sooner or earlier, or maybe it's just something I've learned that's been really impactful, I would like to share that moving forward.
I love this. Phil, we have members already signed up, and we have
Mm,
members in their 80s.
yeah,
And we have members in their 30s and early 30s. So that to me is what is gonna make this so enriched as a community is that there are women that have already signed up as members, ready for the club to open, that have 80 years worth of life experience. And there are women that are just starting a business or just starting in corporate America and are trying to figure out work-life balance. The
absolutely.
complexity and the diversity of our membership, I think, is gonna be what fosters such deep connections because almost everything in my life that I face, some other woman out there older than me has gone through it. And I have learned that I need friends and I need mentors that are ahead of me and I need ones that are younger than me and having different experiences. So
Yeah.
What one of the largest studies, health studies in our country to date is the nurses study that was done, out of Harvard, and this study
Okay.
looked at longevity, and we quote this study all the time, but the biggest predictor of your life is your connection with other people.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's more predictive than smoking, whether you're gonna live long. Like, that's crazy,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And our world today is so busy. I always say, like, busy is the new self-harm, right? Like,
Yeah.
we just stay busy that we lose that deep connection. We lose that
Mm.
connection with other people. So, part of our club's model is really gonna foster that in a very diverse sense, whether you are a mom who stayed at home and now you're like, "I miss friends, I miss
Yeah.
people, I miss getting out," or whether you're that woman who's working in corporate and maybe you don't have time, or maybe it's just not the right culture to connect with other people.
Yeah.
And this is going to provide that space to do so. And I am so excited because the second question you asked me about what would you tell a younger me? I would tell a younger me, when you think you're too busy for something like this, that's when you need it the most.
Mm. Yeah. I
I mean,
love
the
that.
hardest things in my life that I've gone through and come out of, I never went through by myself. Like,
Mm.
I came out of it and learned from, whether it's failure or whether it's a struggle, a toxic relationship or whatever I came through it by asking for help and learning from others and that community and connection. I did not, come out of a business failure all by myself because I had these great ideas. No, I shared my business failure with someone really successful in business. And they were like, well, maybe next time think of this, think of this, that's how we
Mhm.
grow.
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell a younger me.
That's good. Now, the other thing I think about, from a connection standpoint, I mean, once again, to your point, hey, I could go to a coffee shop, but the amount of times that I've gone to a coffee shop and then just walked up to a random table of people, it's zero. I've never done that. Now at a bar, yeah, maybe that's a little bit more socially acceptable. So, I've
Right,
done that.
right.
But you just sit there and you go, well, how much more inviting of a arena is it when I know that, these other folks that are there are there for the same reason, right? They
Hmm.
now you may be having, yes, a three-person business meeting and there's appropriate times to approach someone and not. But
Right.
well, most people there are probably very inviting and wanting to connect with you. And so, making those connections, there's a little bit probably lower barrier to entry. Or maybe if my personality is not as straightforward or, forward as other folks, it's a little bit more inviting.
Yes, yes. And what I love about the club is that we have created this space specifically to have different subspaces within it where it's going to fit what you need that day. Because
Mhm.
probably like you, Phil, there's days where I'm like, I wanna go and chat with my friend. I wanna have happy hour with my girlfriends tonight,
Yeah.
right? And then there's
Yep.
other times where I like, if I'm driving home from work and I'm like, "If I have to talk to another person today, I'm gonna lose it." Like,
Yep.
I just wish I could go somewhere after I drop my kid off at soccer practice, instead of sitting in my car. I wish I could go somewhere and put my feet up and have a glass of wine or have a cocktail or have a cappuccino, or
Yeah.
sparkling water, and just sit on my phone for like an hour and not be
Yeah.
disturbed. So we're going to specifically have spaces for that where you can
Amazing.
reserve them on the club app, and you can say, I need a double person collab room for 2 hours because my friend and I need to figure this business thing out, or my business partner and I need the quiet lounge. I'm going in the
Yeah.
quiet lounge. Nobody talk to me. Right. Or
Yep.
I want to meet my friends, like, hey, who's going to be at the club at 5 o'clock? Let's share a bottle of wine. Like, this is how we have built the space so
Yeah.
that whatever you're feeling that day as a woman, you can have that space available to you in the club.
Amazing. Now, as you talk about kind of those last few items, so it sounds like whether it's coffee, cappuccino, espresso, that's taken care of. If it's, hey, it's been a long one or a celebratory moment, champagne, wines, alcohols.
Yep.
Tell us
Yep.
a little bit about what's offered at the club.
Yeah.
Drink, food, all the above.
Yeah. So The beautiful part of where we picked the club is we're gonna be in a private entrance on the second level. That is where our club is in Regency
Amazing.
Landing. And right beneath us, we have excellent restaurants, right? We have Twisted Cork, we have Via Farina. We're partnering with them on the food. So they will be bringing food up for our members, which is
Amazing.
amazing. And then we also have an event space in the club, of a 40-person event space, so our members can host parties, retreats, baby showers, get-togethers, whatever you need to do.
Nice.
And you can cater into that space. We're gonna have a kitchenette area for that. So we will be providing a coffee bar and a wine bar, and then expanding to alcohol. We're starting with the wine bar, starting simple, and champagne. So
Uh-huh.
we're going to have a great selection of wines. We've been partnering with Vino Mas, which is an excellent wine bar in Omaha, and they've been helping us cultivate our wine selection and coffee selection so that we can offer that to our members. So wine and coffee will be available for purchase in the club, and you will be served that way. And if you are a guest, you can also purchase that independently. So your member doesn't have to purchase everything for
Yeah.
in club spending. We're going to have a great a situation with the restaurants that are close. That's why we're not doing food, because I'm like, I love both of these restaurants.
Yeah.
We don't need to do food. We have
Yeah.
excellent restaurants beneath us.
Absolutely. Now, to that point then, so I'm not a member. You're a member. Is it, hey, you can go as many days out of the week as you want? Is there a certain limit to number of times a month that a person can attend? What does that look like?
That's a great question. It is unlimited. You can come as many times as you want. The reservation of the rooms, obviously, you have to reserve those. So you can't
Yeah.
just walk into a space. You have to go on the app, which will be very simple, and say, I need this room tomorrow for an hour or 2 hours, or I need the conference room. We also have a 12-person conference room because I need to
Amazing.
host a community meeting or book club.
Yeah.
So those rooms will have to be reserved, and the event space, obviously, but you can use the club if you're a member as often as you'd like.
And if I'm a member, are reserving the club rooms, is that free of charge or is there an additional cost to me to do that?
Yeah, so great question. There's 2 levels of membership. So one level is just the open community areas,
Yeah.
and you have to pay a discounted price. You get a significant discount to reserve the rooms. Our elite level, you get unlimited guest passes. So if you're going to be using it as a business model, you
Mm,
probably want elite, and you get 6 credits a month to reserve those spaces. And
amazing.
so every month you're getting 6 basically hours to reserve.
Amazing. Yeah, you see that frequently, right? A person looking to host an event, and it's like, well, gosh, it's going to cost me, $1,000 to go reserve this room somewhere, and
Right.
it's like, well, here I can enjoy it throughout the month, and then also, hey, I'm having a team meeting, or I've got X, Y, and Z people in town for my event, and I can host it at my club.
Absolutely, and we want to host people's events. We
Yeah.
wanna host all of those things. That's why we made a separate event room so that our members can still enjoy the club when
Mm,
someone's having an event.
that's amazing. Now, Omaha is a interesting city, and I would say a lot of people that aren't from Omaha don't know this, but we actually have a lot of people that move in for work. We have
Yes.
large corporations that, they are picking talent from other spots, or you have what they call boomerang people. I'm not one of them, but people that were in Omaha and then they leave for a period of years and then they end up coming back to Omaha. And I would imagine after being gone, from somewhere for a period of time, it's hard to get re-engaged and not know where to go. Or if you're just brand new to a city, it's like, where do I even start? So it sounds like, hey, if I'm a lady and I'm just moving here, or I haven't been here in a long time, this can be a natural fit for opportunities.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a great place to meet people if you're new to Omaha, and not just some people, but really amazing, diverse group of people, older people,
Yeah,
young people who are similar minded, right? They're looking for connection. They're joining this club because they want to be part of it. They want to be part of a community and grow. And I feel since I started launching this and we started building the club about 6 months ago, for the last 10 or 11 months, I've met with over 130 women individually that I did not know
Amazing.
before.
Amazing.
And I knew that in order to really get a group of women to open the club with, that I wanted to kind of handpick and I had to meet with people one on one and
Mm,
talk to them. And what has come up in, I would say, 90% of these conversations that has surprised me, and I've learned so much, is it doesn't matter if you are leading a company that makes $100 million a year, or if you are a solopreneur working sometimes out of your home. Women crave connection. Like
mm, yeah,
we, and I think men do too. I think our society kind of makes it easier for, not makes it easier, but I think it's more acceptable actually for men to have connections, even though we always joke like, you guys have this bro code, but think about it, sports is a
yeah.
huge connector for men, and it's like socially acceptable for men to go watch a game or go to the sports bar or go play
Yeah,
sports even.
yeah.
Like we don't normally do that after, unless we play in college. We don't go and play sports, right?
Mhm.
We may play tennis, maybe pickleball is kind of bringing that back, but like it's very acceptable. It's very acceptable for men to golf, even
Yep.
as part of your work week. It's acceptable for men to go like to a cigar bar or go to a gun range, and I think it women crave that connection, but a lot of times what we do as women is we go to work and we go home,
Mhm.
right? And we don't have like structures in our society to be around other women.
Yeah.
Um, and especially if we're working women, but also if we're stay-at-home moms, like we just don't have those uh opportunities. And so I was really surprised. Like I know that I have at times felt very isolated as a woman, but I was
Yeah.
surprised at how many women shared that with me. So that is really exciting, and that I think this is going to fill a void.
Well, and I think a comment that you made earlier that I'll kind of bring back up is, if you feel like you're the person that says, I don't have time for it, you're the exact person that needs to make time for it. And,
Yes.
the number of times in my life where you go, man, I really don't have time for this happy hour, but I want to see this friend, so I'll do it. But how much more rejuvenated do you leave, after
Yes.
having spent the hour there? It's like, once again, yes, the hour would have been great for X, Y, and Z other things I have to do, but I probably get more done after just because my energy level is rejuvenated than I would
Yes.
have if I would have gone drained into extra hours. So maybe,
Yes.
highlight that thought or, maybe experiences in your life.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you said that, because it's almost like spending time with people is like going to the gym. Like
Yeah.
when you're so busy, you're like, I don't have time for this. Like the one thing I should cut out of my day, it's my 30-minute workout. But
Yeah.
you leave your 30-minute workout and you're like, I am so glad I did that. Like I feel so good now. I feel so much better. And, think about all of our biggest life moments. Even our job where we get a big promotion or we make a huge sale or we get a book deal or whatever we've been working so hard for. It's the you experience the joy of that when you share it with other people.
Mm,
When you
yeah.
share it with your friends, when your friends celebrate you, right? When people repost your success, that's what brings you the joy. It's not like just achieving the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's crossing the marathon line and having your family there like clapping and cheering for you.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we forget that we were not born to live in as alone as people alone. We're not made to have a terrible day at work and then go home and watch Netflix and drink a bottle of wine and feel miserable. We're
Right.
actually meant to go to happy hour
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah.
I had a really rough day, and talk about it and laugh about it and leave happy hour going, I just totally had the best hour with my friends, and now I'm seeing what happened today, and I'm laughing about it. Like, I'm not even upset about it, right?
Yeah. Well, and I haven't seen the, inside or any graphs of what the insides are going to look like, but, something you said earlier and, there's many books, this is not a Phil Friedrich, but, there's many books that talk about, like, guys can sit shoulder to shoulder and feel connected because of, just relative proximity, whereas females sitting shoulder to shoulder don't get the same energy. It's more face to face is what
Yeah.
gives energy. And so you sit there and to your point, you think about going to a bar, it's like, well, half the seats at a bar are shoulder to shoulder, and that's not
Yes.
exactly conducive to face-to-face conversation unless
Yeah.
I radically change myself over and, well, then I'm bumping into someone else. So, I would imagine your layout is going to be very conducive to the face-to-face conversation style.
Yes, and it's so funny because my architects, we're working with great architects, and they several times through the 6-month process of designing the space, they said, "Well, this is where your office is gonna be." And I'm like, "No, no, I don't want an office." And they're like, "No, you have to have an office." I'm like, "No, I don't want an office." Like, I'm going to the club to experience it as all of my members. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
in the quiet lounge when I've had a hard day. I'm gonna be sitting out in the community area talking to someone and having wine with somebody. I don't even if I'm working on my computer, I wanna be in the community area. Like,
yeah,
I don't wanna be in an office where I'm staring out a window in a club that I built for myself. Like, so they're
yes.
like, even when we started construction, they're like, "Are you sure you don't want an office? Yeah, we think you're
Yeah,
gonna regret this." And I'm like, "I have a beautiful office at home. I have an office at the hospital. I don't need an office at the Legacy. I need community at the Legacy."
yeah, I love it. So, opening, when are we planning to open?
Yeah, we are
And
opening
once again,
April.
construction, I know it can vary, but when are we
Yes.
planning to open?
We are planning to open right now. Things are looking very promising that we will
Fantastic.
be opening April 1st. So
Okay,
we are now enrolling members. You get a great benefit of a lower initiation fee if you sign up before April 1st. So if you're listening and this is like, whoa, I need this, you definitely
okay,
have, there's a benefit. We're going to have a big launch party the week before we open for all of our founding members.
amazing.
And, then we're opening April 1, and we'd love to entertain anybody that wants to come in and do a tour or check it out. Just give us a call, find us on social, and we'll set it up.
Amazing. And so what would they look up on social to, be able to find somebody to reach out, get more information, come view it, and become a member?
Legacy Collective Omaha.
Amazing. Well, Sasha, I'm excited for this. You're doing great things, a much needed help for the Omaha community, and a much maybe unknown but needed thing for a lot of females out there that are crushing in life but need to grow the community. So thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.